project. With respect to your cost, how the management will see the project. Sorry, ఇక్కడ నాకు రావట్లేదురా. ఓకే, ఓకే, పర్లేదు చెప్పు. ఇక్కడ చెప్తున్నావు, అక్కడ రాస్తావు, అది అర్థమైంది. నువ్వు అనుకున్నా చెప్పేసాయి, పర్లేదు. ఆల్రెడీ ప్రాజెక్ట్ తీసేసుకున్నారు, అయిపోయింది. వాట్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ హ్యాస్ డన్, ది ప్రాజెక్ట్ హ్యాస్ బీన్ ఆల్రెడీ టేకెన్, అంటే ప్రాజెక్ట్ ఆల్రెడీ తీసేసుకున్నారు. హౌ దే ఆర్ వ్యూయింగ్ దట్ ప్రాజెక్ట్ ఇన్ టర్మ్స్ ఆఫ్ ది కాస్ట్ అండ్ అదర్ ఆస్పెక్ట్స్, అది క్వశ్చన్. డిప్లాయ్ చేస్తే రన్ చేస్తారు, ఓకే, అదొక పాయింట్. ఇంకా how they will see in terms of your profit, that is their profit. One is available resources utilization. Next, what else is left? What are the views of the management with respect to the project? మళ్ళీ PPT ఓపెన్ చేస్తున్నారు. పీపీటీ ఓపెన్ చేస్తున్నారా నాన్న? పీడిఎఫ్ ఓపెన్ చేస్తున్నారు. పీడిఎఫ్ ఓపెన్ చేస్తున్నారు, పీపీటీ రావాలి. Hmm. Hmm. Amen. ఇది పర్లేదు, మళ్ళీ షేర్ చేయి. ఇది. Hmm. ఇందాక ఓపెన్ అయింది కదా. సరే, నీ కీబోర్డ్ లాంటిది ఉంటే F5 ప్రెస్ చేయి. అది రాదు నీకు. స్లైడ్ షేర్, స్లైడ్ వ్యూ రాదు అది. ఇది నీకు స్లైడ్ వ్యూ రాదు, నీకు రాసుకోవడానికి కూడా రాదు. డౌన్లోడ్స్. మనకు కావాల్సింది ఇది. డిజేబుల్ అయిపోయింది. ఏది పీడిఎఫ్ చెప్తున్నామంట, ఇది పీడిఎఫ్. ఓకే, ఇది కూడా వస్తుంది కదా, రాస్తుంది రాస్తుంది రాస్తుంది. పర్లేదు. రైట్ అమ్మా, రైట్. So moving on to the organizations. So as you said, team of people, that is group of people are said to be as the organization who are involved in the project. For those people only we are going to consider as the team members or team for developing that particular project, right? So in the organizations, so organizations engaged in lines of code, that is business need to support projects with the infrastructure necessary to use common process. Okay. So in the organization, lines of code of business has to be used where it has to support the project in such a way that whatever the code that you are going to write should be useful for the project. Okay. Right. So then the project organizations need to allocate artifacts and responsibilities across project team, ensure a balance of global and local concerns. That is global in the sense the architectures and local in the sense the component. Okay. So when the project organization is speaking, that is when we are speaking about the project organization, we are going to speak about the team members who are involved in the project and what are the various respective roles that are being assigned to the team and what are the responsibilities that are being carried out by the respective members within the team to ensure that the project is being finished within the timeline or beyond the timeline. So when we are speaking about the local and global, so when we are speaking about the global one, that is the architecture, it has to be focused by the organization with respect to customer and they have to get the approval from the customers. Okay. And when it is going to be the local, that is they have to take care of the components that are involved in getting that particular project to be built by the user, that is by the organization. Because whatever the architecture that is being approved by the customer has to be taken into the consideration and it has to be done. That is completed with the help of lines of code, with the help of the architecture, with the help of all the remaining aspects that are required to build that particular project and deploy it to the customer. Okay. So the organization must evolve with the WBS, that is organization's responsibilities and life cycle concerns. And the software lines of business and product teams have to be developed where you are going to focus on lines of codes, where you are going to focus on the structure, where that is your architecture, when the entire aspects which are responsible for getting the project done. Okay. So here we are focusing on the organizations, project organizations, and the organization, how the organization has to be, and how the lines of code has to be written by the organization, that is by the team of members to get the project done for the users. Okay. So the next topic which we are having is the lines of business organizations. So what does this mean? That is the lines of business organization. Any guesses or anything to be noted by looking into your slide? What do you mean by lines of business organizations? What are its roles or responsibilities? So what do you mean by lines of business organization? So what do you mean by organization? Sorry, what do you mean by organization? Yes, what do you mean by organization? Group of people. Okay, what they are doing with respect to customer? With respect to customer, what are the roles that are given for the team, that is group? What is the role that is given for the team? Role or responsibilities that are being assigned for the team? What are the responsibilities that are assigned for the team? What are the responsibilities? See, customer is coming to the company asking for project. Then this company is giving, this company is producing some project which has to be delivered to the customer with effectiveness. Okay. So what are the responsibilities that are given for the company? What are the responsibilities? What the company has to do in order to satisfy the customer? Yes, what the company has to do in order to satisfy the customer? Yes, whatever the requirements that are being given by the customer, will they need to satisfy him? Yes, will they need to satisfy the customer? So with respect to the satisfaction, what the management or team has to do? So what is the final outcome that the user is expecting from the company? Final outcome. What is the final outcome that the user is expecting from the company or organization? ఏం ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేస్తున్నాడు యూజర్ ఫైనల్ గా? What are the expectations of user with respect to company or organization? Final game కావాలి. So finally, that is user has to satisfy with the requirements that are being given by the user to the company, and he is expecting a good and well structured design as an output which is producing some result. Okay, that is good result for the users, that is stakeholders, and for himself, and for the survival in the market. Those are the things which are being expected by the customer. Okay, so to fulfill these things, what the company has to do? What the company has to do, that is organization has to do to fulfill all these things, what the organization has to do? Yes, to satisfy the responsibilities or to satisfy the customer, what the company has to do? So first and foremost thing the company can do is satisfy the user with the requirements. Then only requirements are enough, or in terms of cost also they need to satisfy the customer? Cost also they have to satisfy the customer, because so for a project which is cost of 20 lakhs, he is not going to invest more than 20 lakhs. Maybe he may invest another 5 to 10 lakhs, but not more than that. Okay. So whatever the responsibilities that are being given to a company has to be satisfied by the company to the customer's end, and they have to be in limited budget as well. Okay. So here the lines of code, business organization, the main features of default organization are as follows. So responsibility for the process definition maintenance is specific to a cohesive lines of business. That is, so the process flow is being, that is the process definition and maintenance is already specified for the lines of code. That is, this only you have to write in order to satisfy the user, and these are the lines of code that you need to produce, whether it in Java or Oracle or whatever the language that you are choosing. You have to satisfy the customer within less number of lines of codes or more number of lines of code, but it should produce a good result. Okay, so responsibility for the process automation is organizational role and is equal to the importance to the process definition role. Okay. So when you are going for the process automation also, it has to be with in cope up with the environment and in cope up with the importance of your process definition as well. And organizational role may be fulfilled by a single individual or several different teams. Okay. So in order to complete your complete project, you can take the help of either single team or you can go with the multiple number of teams as well. But the final outcome must be the user satisfied outcome, right? So this is the default roles of software lines of business organization. So hope this figure is already available with you. Is it available? Have you taken this diagram previously? This diagram have you completed previously? So if it is not completed, just you will take this diagram. Meanwhile, I will be explaining you what are these roles of, that is lines of business organizations are. Okay. So you try to copy it. I will also explain it. Okay. So when the organization, sorry, the default roles in a software line of business organization is, so here you will be having organization manager. As we are speaking about the team is going to have the manager, and here the software manager is responsible for the project, to build a project, whether it is a partial one or full one. Okay. So he can take the help of, as we have discussed, he can take the help of one team or more than one team. So here in this figure, we are taking care of n number of teams are involved in a particular project called X or Y. So the manager is taking the help of team 1, team 2, team 3, team 4 and up to team N. So the team number is not mentioned here, right? So he is overallly having one project manager, that is as an organization head. Under him, multiple number of teams are working as team managers. So what are they going to do? They are going to go for the software engineering process authority. Okay, so what are they doing? They are going for the software engineering process authority, where they are going to go for the definition of process and they are going to show the process improvement. Okay, so they are going to give the process definition, that is how the project has to come out within the stipulated time, or how the process has to take place within the organization. And if we are getting any drawbacks or any difficulties, how can we overcome with those particular difficulties? All these things he is going to plan and manage, right? So then he is going to focus on the software engineering environment authority, where the process automation is being done. So when we are speaking about the process automation, we are also speaking about the process and person, right? So then they are going to go for the project review authority, right? So once the software engineering process authority is being done, that is process definition is done, process improvement is done, they are going to go for the process review authority, that is project review authority. So once the process is defined and the difficulties are overcome, then they are going to check for the project compliance, that is whether this project is going to be fit into the market or not. They are going to check, and if it is okay, then they are going to proceed. If it is not okay, then they are going to go for the periodic risk assessment. Okay, so if the project is not going to fit into the market, what they are going to do, wherever we are getting any kind of errors, there they are going to go for the risk assessments. Okay, so how they are going? They are going in a periodic manner, that is maybe for 15 days or maybe for 1 month or maybe for 2 months or maybe for 3 months or maybe for 6 months. So like that, they are going to go for the periodic risk assessments in the project review authority. Then they are going to go for the process automation, where they are going to take care of the size, persons, personnel and everything. Then they are going to check with the infrastructure, what kind of infrastructure is needed for developing that particular project. So there they are going to go for the project administration, engineering skill centers and professional developments. So all these aspects, they are going to focus and they are going to come out with a good project as a whole with the help of the default roles in a software line of business organization. Drawing is finished. Finished. Last. Boys, is it visible? Last. So even though if it is not visible, whatever I am saying, you can write it within the picture. Okay. Right. So the default roles in a software lines of business organization is this one. So here, while coming to the organization, again, we are having software management team, right? So that is software management will be there and software engineering team will be there and administration team will be there. And then we are going to have the software architecture, development and software assessment. Okay. So project organizations is going to have the software management and here it is going to have the artifacts as business case, software development plan and status assessment. That is how the project is going to be with respect of business and what is the plan in order to get it done and what is the status assessment, whether it is in first stage, second stage, third stage or whatever the stage is, what is the status of that particular project, here we are going to check. And while coming to the activities, that is what are the aspects that are going to be done by the customer and the management team or the organization. Here we are going to take care of the customer interface or PRA interface, that is project assessment team interface. Then we are going to go for the planning and monitoring. Then we are going to check with the risk management. Then we are going to go for the software process definition and then we are going to go for the process improvement. Okay. So this is related to the project organizations, right? So we will be having system engineering and administration. Both departments will be there to write the code and to check for the codes. Then we will be having software architecture, development and assessment team for developing and drawing the architecture, developing the code and checking for the assessments. Clear? Diagram is also taken. Yeah, still we are getting some sound. Yes, you have completed taking the diagram. If it is not done, you can copy the diagram, no issue with that, but don't make noise. Hey, finish. Last, boys. This side, right side. Hey, అడిగేం చేస్తున్నాడు రా? Yes, say done. Finished from everyone. Finished or not? Hey, finished. Yeah, if it is finished, just you can raise the hand, we can move forward. Otherwise, don't make noise. You can copy it down. Okay. So whatever we have seen in the previous class was very well known to you, according to me and according to you as well. But this one is not known to you. You have to just obey the orders. That's it. Finished? Yeah, once it is done, we can move forward. Is it completed? Right. So what is the above figure is saying? Just listen. After that, you can note down. So the above figure shows a default project organization and maps project level roles and responsibilities. So what is the diagram is showing? So in the above figure, we are showing the default project organization. So what is the organization is having and what are the project level roles and responsibilities that are given for either team or as an individual. Okay. So we have seen as two aspects. One is artifacts and the activities. So either from the customer's end or from the organization end. Both cases we have seen. So project level roles we have seen and the responsibilities we have seen. And what is the default project organization that is going to be contained? That also we have seen with the help of a particular diagram. So the main features of the default organization are the project management team. So what is the project management team is doing? So it is an active participant responsible for producing always as managing. So what is the project management team is doing? Management team is doing. So it is taking care of both the aspects. One is it is taking care of as a participant, that is customer is coming to the organization and that particular team only as a participant he is participating, that is the team is participating with the customer and they are taking care of all the responsibilities and requirements from the customer. As a participant it is okay, that is team is okay, and as a manager or as a management team is also it is producing the well managed project into the customer's hand. Okay. The project management team is an active participant responsible for producing as well as managing. So they are managing the project and they are producing the project to the customer. And the architecture team, what is the role of architecture team? So the responsible is to real artifacts and for the integration of components. Okay. So they are going to show multiple number of figures which are available with them, right? So once the figure is, that is architecture is finalized by the customer, they are going to integrate all the modules one with the other, and then they are going to produce a good product or good project into the hands of customer. So not just for staff functions. Okay. So it is not just for the staff functions. It is for the well-being of the customer. Okay. So what the architecture team is doing, it is responsible for real artifact and for the integration of components. So multiple number of components are available. So it is going to go for the integration of all the modules or all the components which are available within the diagram. Okay. Then the development team owns the component construction and maintenance activities. What the development team is doing, it is owning the component constructions, that is whatever the components are available, it is constructing all the components and it is also maintaining the activities. Okay, that is what how it is going to be constructed and what are all the aspects that are need to be added, that are to be modified, that are to be adjusted, that are to be altered or deleted, or whatever the things that need to be done. All these things are taken care with the help of the development team, right? So the assessment team is separate from development. What is the team that is separate from the development team? It is the assessment team only. So what is the role of this assessment team? What is the role of this assessment team? That is separate, that is fine. What is the role of assessment team? What is the role of this assessment team? So how we are going to be assessed? How you people are going to be assessed? With the help of your mid exams or internals or externals. We are having separate parameters of evaluating you and assessing you. So similarly, the assessment team, what it is going to do? So you are writing code for one module and you are expecting the result of other module. Will it come properly? Will it come properly or will it come correctly? No, right? So how the assessment is going to be done? What is the phase that you are going to give it for assessment? Phase name. Out of your 5 phases, what is the phase that you are going to give it for assessment? Testing phase, you are going to give it for assessment, which is separate from your development team. So why always the assessment team is going to be separate? So if you are writing 100 lines of code and you yourself, you are testing your own code, will you get your errors out? Will you come out with your errors? You are writing 100 lines of code and you are going for testing. So will you get your errors? Perfect errors. Will you get exactly as other persons are testing your code? Yes, you will get your errors or you will not get your errors. Yes. Have you experienced this one? Have you tested with yourself? So say for example, you are writing some Java code or some Python code or some language code you have written. And what you are thinking, you have written your code 100% correct, but your code is not executing in your system. But the same code is being executed for your friend. What you will ask? In general, this will be happening in our day-to-day life, right? So you won't be getting the output, but your friend will be getting the output for the same program. What you will do? Instead of asking for your teacher, what you will do? You will take the help of your friend to check your lines of code. Okay. So in some cases, the code will be same, but the system might not be supporting. In some cases, you might have forgotten to keep semicolons or colons or some lines or some word you might be lifting it up, right? So few things will be happening. Okay, that can be easily understood and easily identified by your friend itself. Okay, for us, whatever the code that we are writing, that is 100% correct. Okay, so that's why always the development team will be separate and the assessment team will be separate. That is, testers will be separate team and the code developers will be separate team. Okay, so they are not going to be same persons, because in alpha testing and beta testing, we are going to assess ourselves, but we are going to get few errors. When we are going for the other side of testing, we are going to get your more number of errors. Okay, so quality is everyone's into all activities and checkpoints. Each team takes responsibility for the different quality aspects. Okay, so finally, the quality is everyone's responsibility. That is, assessment team has to assess the product and it has to give the its quality. Development team has to give the best out of them, and code writers, they have to give the best out of them, and the architecture team also them, and the project management team also produce the best out of them. Then only your complete project will be a best project. Otherwise, it is going to be lagging behind. That is, it is going to be waste in some of the cases. Okay, clear? What is the project organizations and its responsibilities? What is the above figure is suggesting us? Is it clear? This figure. Software management, software engineering, administration, that is administration, architecture, development, and assessment. all teams are having their own roles in getting up your project. Is it clear? This figure, is it clear? Project organization or organizations? Clear? So what is the role of project software management, project management team? How many roles the project management team is going to have? How many roles or how many responsibilities the project management team is going to have? Slide is open. You are also writing. You can check with your notes or you can check on the screen. So what are the roles of a project management team? How many roles it is taking? Two roles it is taking. So what is the first role? As a participant, and second one is as a manager. Okay, as a participant and responsible for producing a project as well. So what is the architecture team is responsible for? Architecture team. What is the role of your architecture team or what is the responsibility of your architecture team in your project? What is the responsibility of your architectural team? What is the role of your architecture team? So what they have to give as an output? What they have to give as an output? Question అర్థమైందా? So if the question is clear, you can give the answer. What is the architecture team is responsible for? They have to produce the best architecture and they have to get satisfy the customer. Then what is the development team is doing? It is writing the lines of code and satisfying the user. Then what is the role of assessment team? Assessing your code or lines of code. So which is nothing but your testing. Then who is responsible for quality of a project? Quality of a project. Who is responsible for the quality of a project? Everyone who is involved in the project is responsible for the quality of the project. Okay. Next, here is the picture which is having the evolution of organizations. That is how the organizations has come into the existence. Okay. So here we are going to have the software management team as 50%, software, sorry, here we can see software management 50%, which is again divided into three separate parts, which is as architecture 20%, development 20%, and software assessment 10%. So again, software management is divided into separate parts. So which is as architecture as 5%, development as 35%, and software assessment as 100%. So this has to be 100, not 10%. Okay. So here it is software management. Again, here it is also 100%, not the 10%. So software management is having software architecture as 50%, development as 20%, and software assessment as 20%. And the remaining 10% is software management, which is of 10%. Architecture is 10%, development is 50%, and assessment is 10%, 30%. Right? So this is the diagram of evolution of organizations into the markets. So have you copied the previous one? This one is done, copied. This one is copied. This slide text is copied. Copied or not? Just copy it. Then you can take the diagram. Why is it finished? Yes. Below the diagram, you can write down the text which is displayed for you on the screen. Hey, finished? Yes, it is finished. Finished. Hey, it is finished or not? Then make it little bit fast. Yes. It is finished. So here you can make a note of this previous diagram. That is, what are the different at different stages? What is the different role or what is the different percentage of schedule. Okay. So why we are going for the project control? To overcome the concept of your errors. So obviously we are going for product metrics or project metrics to overcome those particular project control. So in the process, we are going for software metrics. So again, which are useful for completion of the complete project within the stipulated time, which is called as schedule, and to limitize the cost of the complete project. That is the need for your software metrics. Okay. So then we are having 7 different core metrics, which are very, very important for the external point of view. Okay. These core 7 metrics are said to be as the metrics of software product. Okay. So we are having 7 core metrics. So in this sleep also, you should be able to try to answer this question. Write down these 7 core metrics, which are categorized under management indicators and quality indicators. Write these 7 metrics compulsory, can expect. Okay. So the management indicators are work in progress, budgeted cost and expenditures, staffing and team dynamics, and quality indicators include your change, traffic and stability, breakage and modularity, reworks and adaptability, and mean time between failures. That is MTBF and maturity.